Hello everybody, welcome back to another weekly market review for F45trading.com. We are talking about Monday, March 30th to Friday, April 3rd. I cannot believe the first quarter of 2020 is already in the books, and wow, what a first quarter it's been. I think you would probably all agree with me on that. Just looking at this chart right here, a chart of the dollar index, we have seen some massive manipulation. And let me put this in perspective for you. Look at the range, look at the tight range the US dollar has been in since the early part, we'll call it May of 2018. So 2 years basically the US dollar has been sleeping or just going slowly upwards and basically sideways. It has been a while since we've seen some volatility, and boy have we seen some volatility. So pretty impressive price action the past couple of weeks. Okay, getting into this week here, we're going to have another volatile week, folks. I'm going to bring over the calendar here just so you're aware. We had Trump speaking on Sunday. This was about, time of this recording, this was about 5 hours ago or so. And I didn't actually catch what he was talking about. I'm assuming more of the same, coronavirus and how America's so amazing as always. And so not much change there. We've got going, no news on Monday to speak of that's really of any significance on Forex Factory anyway. The other thing, like I say too, it's always a very good idea, and I'll give you another one here. I've said this before, but it's always a very good idea to two things. Not only have a second source of market data in the way of a second platform, MT4 accounts, demo account, whatever, to verify the information you're getting is correct. Or a great one is Trading View or Bar Chart, just another source to verify that the data that you're getting in your charts is correct. And also have us back up to Forex Factory. Forex Factory is my default. It's my go-to. I use it all the time. I love it. Sometimes though, they don't always have everything in there, and so I use a backup called FX Street. This is a great one. And this is the economic calendar for the week of, again, Monday, March 30th. And we can just click on this one and say this week, and it'll bring up all the news events for the week. Now this is obviously medium and low impact. I haven't set the filter, so there's a ton of them. And you can see Monday there's GBP news, and these are all low impact. There's one Swiss medium impact news event. There's a ton of Euro news events. Business climate, that's a medium impact for the Euro. We have a high impact for the German markets. We have some medium impact news events for pending home sales. These are pretty big. And Dallas Fort Fed manufacturing business, medium impact news events there. A whole bunch of yen news impacts, news events, and a whole bunch of other medium weight news, economic news. So just like I say, if for whatever reason, it's a busy time of year, Monday looks like this for Forex Factory, just double check. And then that way, when you're in a trade, on Monday, you're in the Euro trade, or you're in a Swissy trade, or a yen trade, or something like that, you're not like, oh, where did this news come from? And it just, fluctuated the market 100 pips out of the blue, right? So that just a good rule of thumb. Okay, so FX Street, fxstreet.com. Economic calendar is another good resource for economic news events. Okay, so again, nothing too major on Monday. Tuesday, we've got the usual suspects: CB consumer confidence for the dollar, and then going into Wednesday, we have, it's obviously non-farm payroll week, guys. So back down here on Friday, but the fireworks really start on ADP non-farm employment change, ISM manufacturing. Wednesday is going to be a good volatility day. It's going to move. Thursday is relatively quiet, except for this big one right here, unemployment claims. This one apparently is going to be pretty massive. We all know what's going on in the world, and there is massive unemployment everywhere. They shut down the country. Italy totally shut down. The entire country is probably on unemployment right now. Those who can't afford day to day, or without living without an income coming in. All in unemployment. I know Canada, where I live, the entire country is shut down. So, I mean, the huge unemployment going on in this country right now. The U.S., there's a couple of huge states that are shut down. I know there are some states that are still going, but these numbers are coming in now, and they're going to get massive. So this is going to move the market significantly Thursday. Listen, guys, I wouldn't recommend you trading past Wednesday. As soon as the Wednesday day closes, I would close all of your trades and I would just sit on the sidelines. Thursday is going to move the markets, and then Friday going into average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate, on ISM manufacturing. It's going to get ugly, so you don't want to be part of that. I would seriously recommend you watch the market. And do not trade those days unless you like to gamble, and then go ahead. So getting into the markets, I'm going to wrap this up very quick here, guys, because there's just a couple of markets that I want to discuss, and I want to talk at the very end about wheat. So US dollar, we slammed down, ran the market low, and then we ran back up just as quick and ran the market on the upside. So we took both sell side and buy side liquidity out of the markets. And now we're sitting right in the middle of where we were before. It's just a little bit lower than the high and the low, but you can see there's the middle of the range right there. So what are we going to do? Well, if we go down to a daily, that was a weekly chart. If we go down to a daily, we can see price fell all the way down. And last Sunday at this time, we opened up last Sunday, and I said I want to see price have a nice retracement, come back in here, and then bounce and go higher. And I said my line in the sand is right here, and this is the line in the sand, this big red area right there. I haven't changed that. So price did exactly what I said it was going to do. It's going to come back down, rebalance. But Friday, it continued. We didn't get that bounce higher at all. I mean, we came back just slightly on Friday morning at London Open, and then price fell out and we dropped down again. So this looks pretty bearish to me. If price goes back above this area in here, you know what, I'll just leave this right where it is. If price wants to go back above here, then we could look at possibly them wanting to come back up into here, but I think this is it. They're probably going to end up going back down. Now, that being said, it's super volatile. Price is going to be all over the map this week. So what I'm saying to you guys, it may not hold any weight. I could be very wrong on this. We could see price come all the way back down to here, rebalance, and then shoot higher for another high, and I'd be totally wrong. I see price coming back up to about this line right here, the 99.50 level, and then I would imagine we're probably going to fall off and go lower. I mean, you got to look at the economic news that's out there. What would be supporting the dollar? And that's all you got to ask yourself. Go out and look through news. What would be causing the US dollar to go higher? Is it the fact that they're printing more money? They just announced a $2 trillion stimulus package. Quantitative easing? No, typically that lowers the dollar because it creates more monetary supply, therefore devaluing the dollar. Is it the fact that they're going through a massive economic crisis right now? No, that's going to devalue the dollar as well too. There's not going to be any confidence in it. Is it the fact that the U.S. is swimming in debts? Is it the fact that there's the stock market's going to hell in a handbasket? The fact that half the country shut down due to the coronavirus? There's so many variables that should be pushing this dollar down. I can't get on the bullish side of the U.S. dollar. I could be wrong. I mean, we could be having this conversation next week, and maybe price will be up here. And hey, I'm wrong. You know, but I'm more bearish than bullish on US dollar. Let's put it that way. So this is what I'm looking at for the week to come, and I want to see if price can get down to 96.50s, 96.40s by the end of the week. What happens there, again, don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But this is kind of what I'm looking for. Anything above here, I don't know. Don't know what it's going to do. If it gets above here, it'll probably get pulled up into here. Then if does it go higher than there? I don't know. You know, there's a lot of very gappy price action in here. So they may just leave that wide open and come back to that 4 years later. Who knows? After the end of this economic crisis. Anyway, that's all I got for the dollar. EurUsd, very nice sweep down here to run liquidity. And these types of patterns here, side note, I see these a lot on, you know, like non-farm payroll, like right before non-farm payroll. And they're basically just running stops on both ends of the market before they make their initial move in the intended direction. So I don't know what the intended direction is, whether it's higher or lower. We're right in the middle of this range right here. Again, US dollar, I believe, in my opinion, is very bearish, so that should push EurUsd higher. But this, like I say, looks like it's right before NFP or as you know, a big economic news event, how price jams up and then it jams back down, running all the stops above the market and below it, and then they just continue going in the direction that you thought it was going to go anyway, you know, in this case, maybe higher. Well, that's kind of what that looks like, but on a weekly time frame, which is wild. I've never seen that before. I mean, never say never, I guess. I'm sure I might be able to find something to that effect. But, you know, I'd be pretty hard pressed. Something like that, right? That's very, very close. Anyway, I'm not going to go through this. Conversation for another day. So, what do I think we're going to do on the EurUsd? Well, again, very, very strong push higher. We kind of ran right into the middle of this range here. I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback. I really don't want price going back down into the body of this candle here. So I'm going to put this as a big red area in here and say I'd like to see price stay above this area. So put a couple of price tags on here. What I'd really like to see is if price does run deep, 110.30 would be about the very lowest that I'd like to see it run. And I'll put that on the chart here. I'll get the exact level, 110.30. Whoops. So that's my line in the sand in euro. If we go below there, then we're probably going to rebalance back down in here at, and you know, we could trade that at 108, 109. So that'd be about 100 pips lower than that level if it breaks it. But what I'm anticipating is price to come down, again, very similar to the US dollar. Touch back either at the high of the candle or the body close of the candle, and then do something like that. And I want to shoot for up into this range, and my target for the week is going to be 112.50s, somewhere in and around there. Could get higher, don't know, but that's what I'm looking at. If it breaks 110.30 again, line in the sand, that's it. Don't want to see price go lower than that. If we do, then again, I don't know. We could sit in this chop for a little while. It could just shoot lower. I don't know. GbpUsd, again, great stop runs. Very, very, very deep retracement. I mean, this is wild. Like this, I really wish I would have sold here and just held on to it. I did sell into this move, but I mean, it's a 1,700 pip move. Wow. That's all I gotta say. As I said wow before, these markets are volatile. So be careful out there, folks. It's going to be a volatile week. Again, same idea. Want to see price drop lower. And I'm not going to take a lot of time on this, guys, here, so I apologize. I want to wrap this up. 12200, basically. Don't want to see price go much lower than that. If we do, I might think that they could want to rebalance back down to probably 120.50, somewhere in there. So, you know, right about in this area right here, I think there's a good chance if they want to come back down lower than 122, that could be a target on the downside. So we'll see. Again, lots of very, very quick movements on cable, so be careful on this one. Don't just go long arbitrarily there just because I said so. Wait, watch, confirm, verify, and then if you are going to place a trade, go ahead and wait until after the price starts moving in that intended direction, because price could slam down another 150 pips in the blink of an eye, and yeah, it wouldn't take very long in some cases with what they're doing here. So that's GBP. And where does it go from there? I like these highs up here. They left them for a very obvious reason. Do they get all the way up there this week? I don't know. That would be a pretty wild ride if that happened. That'd be like 1,000 pips in, you know, 4 or 5 days. That'd be impressive if they wanted to shoot it all the way up there. But, you know, that being said, I mean, here's Friday's candle. Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday's low, damn near 1,000 pips. So, yeah, there you go on that one, folks. So, I guess we'll wait and see what happens, but I'm looking for higher prices on cable, whether it wants to get all the way up there or just stall out at these lows in here. that remains to be seen. Euro GBP, same kind of idea. We kind of chopped around here a little bit where you can see the manipulation on euro and cable, and we're going to come back up in here, close these areas in here, and then we're probably going to tumble lower again. So I think we've made a high here on euro GBP, to be quite honest with you. I've been looking for them to come back down and rebalance at this consolidation level in here, so I'll leave that down there. I think that's where we're going to get to, which would give GbpUsd a lot of legs to go higher. USCAD, man, we chopped in here for days. It was driving me crazy. Got a couple of good trades in here nonetheless, but man, this thing smashed down, and look where we came down into, like right back into the highs of these areas in here. Typically this is seen as a reversal area, but if the US dollar continues to push lower, I don't know what we're going to have happen there, so we'll see. Now, this pair obviously going to be very, very heavily affected by crude oil, and you can see crude oil is taking a nosedive. We actually hit a low at the time of this video opened up. The low came in, if it'll give me this candle here, 1990. So we dropped below $20 on crude oil, if you can believe that. I don't know when the last time crude oil was below $20, but it's pre-2008 on this chart anyway, so pretty sad day in the energy markets for that to happen. But that is going to weigh very heavy on crude oil, excuse me, on USCAD. I shouldn't say heavy. It will actually cause USCAD to be very bullish. The further crude oil goes down, the higher USCAD goes up. But again, with the weight of the US dollar pulling it down, it may retrace a bit. So I'm not going to do anything with USCAD. I would recommend you guys probably sit on the sidelines as well too. If we break lower and go down past this guy here, if we go back down below 138.60s, 138.50s, then they're probably going to want to close up this gap right here, and that's where my eyes would go to. So we could look for that, but we got to see what they want to do here this week. Australian dollar, again, had a big rebound off of the lows from in here. Look at that big stop sweep, huge, ran down and smashed and took all of the sell stops below the market, and look how much it retraced. Like in 1 week it came down, and 1 week straight back up. It was a 650 pip retracement. Pretty impressive. So anyway, looking for more of the same. As long as we see lower prices on US dollar, we should see higher prices on Aussie. So I'd be looking for something like this to happen. Okay. But again, guys, it's NFP week, so anything is possible. I'm not going to talk about crude oil because crude oil, it's very depressed. We could go down to 17. We could get as low as 15. I've seen some economists come in and talk about $9 crude oil, but man, that would be very, very low. I don't even want to have that conversation yet. But for now, I'm going to hold off on crude oil, but again, still very, very bearish. Gold is going sideways. I was really hoping gold would have started to move above this level in here. We came up and rebalanced these lows in here very nicely, but so far we've seen a lot of hesitation. I wouldn't be surprised if we see gold slide one more time. $1 million question is, do we get below here? I was really hoping we were going to slide down and get underneath these lows here, and you can see we just fell short of that there. So to me, in my opinion, a little suspect. I feel like they could come down and shoot below there one more time. That's just me. Anything could happen, of course, but I don't believe, if we see continued strength on the US dollar, there's no way gold is going to get any higher anytime soon. So we'll have to watch for that. But if we do see a lot of weakness in the dollar, gold could rally. So I'll be watching to see what happens in gold. S&P, we gapped down to start the week, and now we're kind of making a weak attempt to run higher. Do we get back into here? That's where I'm kind of waiting and watching to see what happens. We have a bit of a gap in there, and but price tried to get up in there last week, and you can see it fell right off. So do we go below this low here? Do we go above here? I don't know. I think we're not done with the bearishness in the US quite yet. So I'd be hesitant on taking any longs in S&P, but I'm not going to offer any more suggestions on that until we get through at least this week here, especially after the unemployment claims. And finally, to wrap this video up, I'm just going to talk about this market very, very quickly. And I want to, I've got a better chart than this. Yeah, this is what I want to see. So I don't know if there's any commodity traders out there, but if there are, I would have a look at wheat. Now, just doing some analysis on wheat, obviously we've seen, and you guys have probably been reading the news a little bit, wheat has been running pretty heavy because of the demand right now for pasta and all of this quarantine stuff. Obviously, everyone's sitting at home and they're buying pasta for food staple supplies, emergencies, and things like that, because pasta typically doesn't go bad. Cook it any time. So it's driving the wheat market crazy. And look at the bottom of my screen, if you can see it down there. Price turned around right in the middle of March, and you can see it made the low, and it's just been steamrolling. I think we're going to see higher prices. I think we're going to see above 600 on wheat, and you can see we're seeing a nice rally in here. Had a bit of a pullback going into late last week, into Friday, Thursday, and into Friday, and then we started to see this thing kind of start to range. So I'd like to see what happens. I'd kind of like to see it come down just a little bit more to about 562, and then hopefully make a push. But if it gets any lower than that, then it may want to come back down and rebalance at 546. Maybe even down to 525 area. But I'm looking long-term horizon on wheat to be very bullish. Again, we're just getting started in this whole mess of the the whole coronavirus thing and the shutdowns and everything like that, especially with the U.S., which is a massive, massive consumer of Kraft dinner, which is pasta. So I think there's a very good chance that this market could go much, much higher. And I'm just going to go to a 5-year, and you can see the level that I was talking about here. There's that 592 high right there. I think we're going to surpass that, and I think we're going to go above this high and possibly even this high here, which takes us well up into the 600s. And just to give you an idea, there's a long way that wheat could go higher too if they really wanted to get bullish. So just going to leave this chart here for you guys. Great little run on wheat in the past couple of weeks, and I believe we're going to see higher prices on that. So if there are any commodity traders out there, if you haven't already seen wheat, take a look at it, because I think we're going to see another mover on our hands here pretty soon. Okay, that's all I've got for you guys. Again, all of the information that I am giving you here are purely my thoughts only. I am not a professional trade advisor yet. That's another conversation for another day. But these thoughts are only my own, not constitute as trade advice of any kind. If you are thinking about trading the markets, understand they are inherently risky, and you can and should plan to lose all of your money if you're not consulting professional advisors. So I would highly recommend you do that, and good luck out there this week especially. You're going to need it. Take it easy. After Wednesday, it's going to be pretty volatile, and I think even more so than what we've seen in the past few weeks. So just go easy, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Please click subscribe to the bottom right hand corner if this has helped you out at all, or if you like what you see, jump onto f45trading.com and see all the options that we have there in our membership group. And I appreciate you guys watching. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.